All right, welcome back, everybody. James is talking football. This week it is the NFC East. James, take it away.
All right, guys, continuing on with our divisional series here. Today we're going to start with the Washington football team, formerly known as the Washington Redskins. They can't be called that anymore. In 2019, they were 3-13. They had the second largest negative point differential in the league at negative 169. This offseason, they had a complete revamp. They got a new name, a new coaching staff, and they purged a bunch of their staffers because of sexual abuse. So overall, this is a trash franchise. The new head coach is Ron Rivera. He's coached for 9 years. He used to coach the Panthers. Last year, they were ranked 32 in total offense, which means they were last. And they're also ranked 27th in total defense. Their weakness going into the offseason was trying to find a wide receiver to complement Terry McLaurin. They lost Chris Thompson. They lost Jordan Reed, Josh Norman, Case Keenum, Eric Flowers, and they traded away their two best players in Trent Williams and Quentin Dunbar. Why would they do that? Trash franchise. In the draft, they picked up Chase Young, which is literally the best prospect that people have seen in years. And they also picked up Antonio Gibson in the third round. He's interesting because he only played wide receiver in college, but he's being listed as a running back right now. They signed Kendall Fuller from the Chiefs. They also signed Ronald Darby from the Eagles, Thomas Davis from the Chargers, and Sean Davis from the Steelers. My prediction is that they go 6-10 this year. They have a couple of solid pieces that they can use as building blocks, but they're definitely not even there yet. They will have another rebuilding year. Terry McLaurin is going to be a superstar wide receiver, but Dwayne Haskins has to prove that he can play in the NFL. He was kind of rushed in there last year when he wasn't ready, and it really showed. I expect him to have a better year this year, but not good enough to win more than 6 games. Their defense is about average, but it could be better than average if Chase Young ends up being the pass rushing monster that everybody thinks he is. Alex, how do you think they'll do this year?
I had them at 4-12. I just can't give them 6 wins. I don't trust Haskins enough yet. He'll get there. Obviously, I think it's interesting that Ron Rivera didn't pick a quarterback in this draft, so he obviously has some sort of trust in him. So we'll see what goes with that. I don't think they have enough on offense. I literally gave them one more win because I think Chase Young is an absolute fucking monster.
Jane, I see you nodding your head. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say 4-12 is like being generous, and only because I think what we saw, what Nick Bosa brought to the Niners, maybe Chase Young can bring that. I'm not gonna say he's Nick Bosa, but I'm gonna say he brings that type of pass rush to the game or to the team, and you could see what that did to the Niners, overall defense and team. But here's the thing: I mean, everything's new. They're just going to be starting kind of fresh. Dwayne Haskins, I mean, again, I think he's getting there, but he's nothing to write home about. AP is like ancient. Terry McLaurin, I mean, rookie. He's questionable, and then tight end Jeremy Sprinkle. I mean,
he's an elite talent, dude. Oh my, dude.
Yeah, but okay. Time out. Dwayne Haskins is your quarterback.
Yeah.
You would trust that?
Yes.
He got 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. He's 1-1, bud.
Yeah, new coach, bud. Okay.
Okay.
New system.
You take him. I said 6-10. Take him. Tight end Jeremy Sprinkle. I mean, all I have here is just ... no. So yeah. That's all I had.
Moving on to fantasy, guys. We're not going to talk about Jerry Sprinkle. But Dwayne Haskins, as Traden was talking about, he is going at 170 plus. He's not even ranked. He's a QB 84. He's projected for 209 points, which is actually decent, guys. But nobody trusts him. He's going after third string, practice squad, and free agent quarterbacks. I wouldn't pick him. But if it was a 2 QB league, I might throw a shot at him just in case. The running back room is really weird just because they have like 7 running backs on that team. Antonio Gibson is going at running back 48, and AP is going at running back 50. They're literally 2 picks apart there. Antonio Gibson is being projected for 127, while AP is going at 122. Eric, who would you rather have? Antonio Gibson, the wide receiver turned running back, or AP, the legend?
I'm going to pull the Alex move. I don't want anyone from the Redskins.
You got to pick one. Pick one.
Not Adrian Peterson because I had him last year. And I'm going to pull my card that he didn't do dick for me. But, of course, I picked him up halfway through the season when I was like 0-5. But, yeah, I'd go with Gibson, not Peterson, but I'd take neither of them.
Lastly, we're going to talk about Terry McLaurin, who is an elite talent trading. He's going at 66, wide receiver 24. He's Haskins' number one target. They went to college together. He saw 10 end zone targets last year, which is the 11th in the NFL. And for a guy who missed the first 2 games, that's pretty amazing. Right now, he's going after T.Y. Hilton and DK Metcalf. Tyler, would you rather have T.Y. Hilton or Terry McLaurin?
I'm going to go T.Y. Hilton. Experience. I usually just always pick experience. That's always just my thing. So.
Okay, good enough. Moving on to the New York Giants. They were just as bad last year. They were 4-12. They finally saw the passing of the torch from Eli Manning to Daniel Jones. They also hired a new head coach as well, where they hired Joe Judge to be the head coach and hired Jason Garrett to be the offensive coordinator. I don't really have a lot of trust in Joe Judge because the biggest thing he was in the NFL was a special teams coordinator. He wasn't even an offensive or defensive coordinator. Can he run a team? I don't know. Last year, they were ranked 19th in total offense and 30th in total defense. Their biggest weakness is an edge rusher and a quarterback. They only had 36 sacks last season, which is only better than 8 other teams, and nobody had a pass coverage grade greater than 60 for the cornerbacks. They lost a lot of key guys in Alec Ogletree and Antoine Bethea, but they went and they drafted Andrew Thomas with the 4th pick of the draft. He's the best tackle in that draft by far and away. They also drafted Xavier McKinney, a safety out of Alabama. They picked up James Bradbury, cornerback from the Panthers, Blake Martinez from the Packers, Cameron Fleming from the Cowboys, and Dion Lewis from the Titans. My prediction is that they're going to go 7-9 this year, so a little bit of a step forward. This is going to be a complete new coaching staff once again, but it's led by Joe Judge, who has only been a special teams coordinator. You'll have to rely heavily on Jason Garrett and his expertise if they want any semblance of success. The defense took a couple steps forward with their free agents acquisitions in the draft. They will finish much better than 30th in total defense. Offensively, they have everything they need. They just need to put it all together. They know Jones is a good QB that will continue to get better. Saquon is a generational running back. And they have a really good blue-collar wide receiving group in Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, and Darius Slayton. Eric, what do you think the record will be this year?
I got him at 7-9 also. They got the new coach. He was under Bill Belichick. Ever heard of him? The guy's pretty good. For the last 7 years, he's been around Belichick. So there's got to be some, gems that he's taken away from that guy. Daniel Jones is better than we think. If he's healthy and Saquon is, they're both going to improve. That's going to help out Daniel Jones that much more. And I took a lot of heat for saying he was good in fantasy. His passing touchdown percentage index was right below a guy named Patrick Mahomes. Guy's pretty good. Won the Super Bowl last year over James's dreaded Niners. So I got him at 7-9.
Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, I would say 6, and 10 for me. I do think they'll, be a little bit more competitive, but not much. I think this team still has a long way to go to be competing in this division.
Alex?
I had them at 6 and 10, and now I'm changing my mind. I'm going to go 8 and 8.
What made you change your mind?
Honestly, surprisingly, what Eric said, which is a miracle in itself. Saquon did get hurt last year. I know you haven't brought up Evan Ingram yet. I'm sure you will when we get kind of the fantasy side. He is a top 10 tight end if he can be healthy. So if Saquon is healthy, Evan Ingram's healthy, their tackle pick in the fourth, in that fourth slot. Anything to help Daniel Jones just not get hit. Their defense is suspect for sure, and I do think that wide receiver core is a little underrated. So I think their offense can succeed, and I think it's going to maybe win them a couple more games than we maybe had expected at the big say, right after the season ended last year.
And Traden.
I see 8-8. Third time's a charm, boys. I love that they're bringing in a young coach. I think that a lot of teams a lot of teams in most sports are seeing that maybe young blood is the way to go. Yeah, does he have the pedigree that Shanahan did or does or whatever? No, but he's a young mind, and I think that that's going to do them well. Daniel Jones, I think, is actually pretty solid. 3,000 yards in 13 games for 24 touchdowns. He needs to shore up his fumbles and his interceptions, but I think that comes as he ages. Saquon Barkley, as you said, is amazing. Sterling Shepard is not a killer, but he's very reliable. And in my opinion, the defense, with them bringing in a lot of young guns who are going to be very hungry, I think they're going to and a whole new staff. I think that they're going to make a run. No, I don't think they're going to be incredible, but 8-8, I think you're going to see some heads turn finally.
Talking about fantasy, we're going to start Daniel Jones. He's going at 150, QB 15. Eric, you had him at number 9 in your rankings, and you didn't have Dak Prescott in your rankings. Dak finished as quarterback number 2 last year. How are you going to justify having Daniel Jones over Dak Prescott?
Because he's going to do better than him this year. And also because that dude, I didn't even get rattled. The dude got rattled with Tyler in the first place because Tyler had Prescott like 3rd or something. I didn't even have Prescott on my list. And the guy was like, who the fuck is this Tyler guy?
I'm talking about you, Eric.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, come on. Ask a true Cowboys fan what they think of Dak Prescott. They all hate the guy. He's okay. He's not that good. I think Daniel Jones has more potential to be better, and he's got more weapons. Like Alex was going off of his offense. Ingram, Saquon, Golden Tate, these other guys, they're gonna make him look better fantasy-wise. So there's my justification. I'll still pick Daniel Jones over him any day.
Okay. Saquon Barkley, ADP 2, running back 2, only going behind Christian McCaffrey, which is fine because that's expected. Right now, Ezekiel Elliott's literally right behind him in a pick. It's kind of hard to determine which one's better there, mainly because Jason Garrett is now the offensive coordinator for Saquon, and we saw what he did with Ezekiel Elliott with the Cowboys and how Ezekiel Elliott turned out to be this fantastic running back. But also Saquon has health concerns and an inferior offensive line. So, Tyler, would you rather have Ezekiel Elliott or Saquon Barkley?
Yeah, I'm going to take Elliott, even though he's a Cowboy. Just because you mentioned the injury concerns. I drafted Saquon Barkley last season. He kind of fucked me because he got hurt. Like you mentioned, the offensive line's suspect for the Giants. I just kind of trust the Cowboys O-line and Elliott over the other dude.
Okay.
Saquon. Jesus Christ. I blanked on his name.
We were just talking about him. We're going to tackle the wide receivers in one fell swoop here. Sterling Shepard's going at 120, Golden Tate's going at 135, and Darius Slayton's going at 140. They're pretty much in 20 picks of each other. Wide receiver-wise, they're only 5 picks away from each other. Sterling Shepard gets about 6+ targets a game. Golden Tate plays in the slot, so he's really good for PPR. And Darius Slayton had 8 touchdowns in 14 games last year, which is really, really good for a rookie. So, Alex, in your opinion, which Giants wide receiver has the most fantasy value?
I'm probably going to go Sterling Shepard. He will go and he'll have his ups and downs, but the weeks where he has the ups, it's going to go big. So I'm going to go Sterling Shepard.
Okay. Jay, do you have anything to say about that?
I love the budding, blossoming tandem of Jones and Slayton. Bring it on, baby.
Okay, he's picking Darius Slayton. Last, we're going to talk about Evan Ingram. He's going at 175. Tight end number 7. Injuries are a pretty big concern for him. He missed 8 games last season, 14 overall in his young career. If he can stay healthy, he's a factor, but if he can't, it's not happening. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys. In 2019, they were 8-8. They missed the playoffs. They had the 5 highest point differential at 113, but they still missed the playoffs, which is weird. They have a new head coach in Mike McCarthy, who used to coach the Packers. They were 6th in total offense, 11th in total defense. Their big weakness is having a tight end in the defensive line. They lost Randall Cobb, Jason Witten, Robert Quinn, who signed for the Bears for $70 million. Michael Bennett retired, and Byron Jones signed with the Dolphins. They drafted CeeDee Lamb, who, in my opinion, was the best wide receiver in this year's draft class. How he slipped to 17 is beyond me. And they also get Trayvon Diggs, which is Stephon Diggs' brother, who's a cornerback in the 2nd round. They added Gerald McCoy from the Panthers, Dontori Poe from the Panthers, HaHa Clinton Dix from the Bears, and Greg the Leg from the Rams. My prediction is that the Cowboys go 11-5 this year. The Cowboys are in win now mode. This is probably their last season with Dak as their QB because they can't afford him. He may not be flashy, but Dak is one of the best QBs in the league, and he still boasts the top 10 offensive line. Ezekiel Elliott, once again, be one of the best running backs in the league, and the addition of CeeDee Lamb makes the wide receiver core one of the scariest in the league. On defense, they've added some much-needed help to the D-line with McCoy and Dontori Poe. The linebacker tandem of Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith is literally the best in the league. Their biggest question is how will they fare without Byron Jones, Robert Quinn? If everyone on defense stands up, then they'll be in a good spot to make the playoffs. Traden, what do you think the record's going to be?
I don't know, maybe to see 10-6. I do like the offense and I do like the defense. Just for some reason, as you mentioned, with the point differential, they just couldn't get over the hump. And in reality, regardless of what fantasy says, you could throw for as many yards and do as many points as you want, but you got to win the game. And clearly there's something wrong there.
Eric, what do you think the record's going to be?
I got them at 9-7. I got them kind of having like a Rams season from this past year, that they're going to be a little overhyped. I don't think Dak is that good. And like I said earlier, ask the Cowboys fans, dude. They all hate that guy. They get so mad at him. He doesn't get the job done for them. I don't think he's good enough. But, however, he does have his weapons, Ezekiel, Amari Cooper, Gallup, and now he does have CeeDee Lamb. They're all going to make Dak look a little better if he could complete passes to them or run it out and get his first downs. They did add Greg the Leg. I love that guy. That's like the one positive thing I could say about them. They got Mike McCarthy. He's won a big one before. We will see, but I have him going 9-7.
Alex, Tyler, what do you think?
I have him going 11-5. I think that wide receiver core could possibly end up being the top wide receiver core in the game. I don't know how CeeDee Lamb fell that far. Like, I agree with you, James. He's probably the best receiver in that draft. I had Dak number 4, I think, on my list. So I trust him. He isn't that flash. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but he'll get the job done. And I don't think that division is weird. It's not very strong. And the Cowboys were literally a game away last year from winning that division. So I got the Cowboys at 11-5.
Tyler?
Yeah, the Cowboys are one of the worst franchises in all of sports next to the New York Knicks. They have all this money. They're all this time to freaking figure out how to put a winning team together, and they haven't even really come close to winning a championship at all. So I'm obviously not a big Cowboys fan. With that being said, they finished 9-7.
Okay. Dak Prescott is going as QB number 6. I think he should be going at 3 or 4. Ezekiel Elliott's going at running back 3, and you can't go wrong with having him or Saquon. Either or, you'll be good. Amari Cooper is going wide receiver number 10. He's a very boomer bust type of player. He either gives you 20-plus points or 2 points. It's going to be hard to project him out for the season. He's right now going 2 picks after Adam Thielen. I know, Alex, you're a big Adam Thielen fan. Would you rather have Amari Cooper or Adam Thielen?
Well, I had Cooper last year, and he was very boomer bust for me, and he's probably the reason I didn't win because he really struggled down the stretch there. God, that's a really tough one. I might go Thielen gets hurt. Fuck. Cooper, I don't know. I can't decide. I'll pick whichever one falls to me. I'll be happy with.
Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good – they're both really good players.
Yeah.
We'll be happy with either of them. Last team we're going to tackle today is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hold on real quick. I just want to shit on Eric real quick. Dak Prescott threw for 4,900 yards and had a youngest year at 30 touchdowns with 11 interceptions and averaged 8.2 yards per attempt. And so when he has good receivers, he can get the ball downfield. How the fuck do you not like this guy?
Oh, yeah. Did he make the playoffs with all those stats?
No, but if we're talking fantasy, come on now. Okay.
Fantasy, yeah, I guess you got a point fantasy there. You do have a point. I I don't know. I think I'm just going in my head, in my heart. I kind of had that Tyler sense of, fuck the Cowboys. And
I'll give you the overarching like team thing, like team side going into the playoffs. Yes, but we can't discount his ability to give you.
I mean,
points.
if I have a chance to give him fantasy, I might. Who knows? After all this shit I talked on him, but I
You're gonna end up
know
getting him.
I agree
That's how
with
it's
you
gonna fall.
fantasy wise, but yeah, not team wise.
Okay, for the second time, we're gonna move on to the Eagles. In 2019, they were 9-7, lost to the Seahawks in the wild card round. It's amazing they got to that record with their lack of wide receiver productions and injury. It's crazy. Doug Peterson just finished his 4th season. He's a really good coach. Huge fan of that guy. They ranked number 12 in total offense, 15th in total defense. Their biggest weakness is a wide receiver because they need to stay healthy. Crazy fact is that Miles Sanders led the team receiving yards past 20 yards last year, and he's a running back. They also need a cornerback because all the cornerbacks had grades below 60. Ronald Darby, their star cornerback, allowed a 117 passing rating when targeted. That's bad. Moving on, they lost Halpovati Vaitai. He signed with the Lions, which talked about last week. They lost Ronald Darby, thank God. Jordan Howard signed with the Dolphins. Malcolm Jenkins signed with the Saints, and Nigel Brennan signed with the Saints as well. They drafted a Targaryen in the first round in Jalen Reagor out of TCU. Guy's super, super fast. And in the pick that surprised just about everybody, they drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round. He's projected to play kind of a Taysom Hill role because you still have Carson Wentz there. They added Darius Slay from the Lions. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the league, so that kind of solved the cornerback problem there. They also added Javon Hargrave from the Steelers and Nicole Roby-Coleman, a slot cornerback from the Rams. I predict that the Eagles are going to go 10-6 this year. The Eagles really showed their defense this offseason and tackled their biggest weakness in the cornerback. Darius Slay will play a big role in how successful this defense will be. The offense has some of the biggest question marks, though. How will the offensive line from last year fare, losing their starting left guard and left tackle? Will that wide receiver group stay healthy? Alshon Jeffrey's already going to start the season on the PUP list. Something that will always bring the Eagles some comfort is that there's still always going to be that Winston-Ertz connection. If the wide receivers get injured, Ertz is going to get all the receiving yards once again. Tyler, big Eagles fan over there. What do you think they're going to be?
Yes, James, I love your breakdown of those Eagles. I think a lot of people aren't expecting them to do that well this year, but I disagree. I think all the reasons you mentioned, I think they got weapons on offense. We'll see how their new Targaryen wide receiver does this year. I'm really interested to see how he fares. I think they shored up some problems on the defense. And as Alex mentioned earlier, it's not a very strong division, so I think that they can easily go 4-2 within their division. They do have some pretty tough games. They're on the road against Green Bay, Pittsburgh, and San Francisco. And they also got games at home against the Ravens, Saints, and Seahawks. So for me, that's my one concern is their schedule. I think is pretty tough, but they're going to have to play pretty good football. But I think with the leadership of Doug Peterson, I think that they'll pull off a 10-6 record, like you mentioned.
Alex?
7-9.
Wow.
I have zero faith that Carson Wentz can stay healthy. He really hasn't stayed healthy for a full year yet. And their backup quarterbacks, that depth chart there is not looking great. Don't have Nick Foles to fall back on and, have him lead you to a Super Bowl.
Jalen Hurts.
Dude, you can't trust Jalen Hurts when Carson Wentz gets a knee injury in week 7.
It could be. I mean, Jalen Hurts did have 80 touchdowns in his collegiate career. He's pretty good.
If the Eagles had not just given Carson Wentz a contract extension and he had gotten hurt this year, or within the next couple of years, I could see them moving on and having Jalen Hurts be their their quarterback.
They still might trade him. That's the thing. Traden, what do you think?
I see a 10-6. I mean, I have to give credit to Carson Wentz here. Career high 4,000 yards without a single wideout that amassed 500 yards. That's kind of insane. He can kind of put the ball wherever he wants to a guy that's open. Zach Ertz obviously took up a quarter of that, so yeah, whatever. But still, I mean, most of the wide receivers that you see with good quarterbacks are getting at least 500 yards, and that's a big feat if you ask me. So I think that they're going to be fine.
And Eric, what do you think?
Tyler, I got them at 4-12.
What the
Oh my
fuck?
God.
Oh my
Jesus.
They're going to be dog
Wow.
shit. I think that the Chapman University Division III Panthers have a chance to possibly beat them this year because Carson Wentz cannot
Dude,
stay alive.
get out of here, man. You're
Think. Hey, let me tell you this. Watch. Carson Wentz is going to play. He's going to get hurt. Jalen Hurts might come in. He might get hurt. And guess what? Then you got Josh McCown again to shit the bed for you. No offense to that guy.
Dude.
I like Deshaun Jackson, Long Beach representative right there. Well, I love that guy. He's a crafty veteran. He can't really stay healthy either. They don't have enough weapons, and Wentz is going to be getting chucked in the dirt like he always does, and he's going to get hurt. And, I mean, I'm kind of going on the Alex side too. Is Jalen Hurts going to be able to get it done once Wentz gets hurt? We'll see. 4-12. Battle for the worst team versus the Washington football team in that division.
That's a hot take again by Eric. Moving on to fantasy here. Carson Wentz going at 109, QB 12. He's just outside the top 10. I think he breaks that top 10 with healthy wide receivers. Miles Sanders is running back 9, which is huge because the only person that had him in his top 10 was Trayton. Initially, he was last year. It was a running back by committee, but the second half of the season he took over, and that was basically his job to lose. He has great pass catching ability. He had 50 receptions last season, and I think that's just going to go higher. So, Trayton, why did you have him in your top 10?
I think you just said it. It's an interesting combo. We have 818 yards and 3 touchdowns in his rookie season, 4.6 yards per carry. That's pretty solid. And 509 receiving yards for 3 touchdowns. That's a good combination. So he can do both. And you got Wentz who can put the ball to, make those short passes. So I'm on him.
And Tyler, why did you not have him in your top 10?
Sorry, I'm still can't get over Eric's fucking Eagles thing. What was the question?
Why did you not have Miles Sanders in your top 10?
I don't know. It was so long ago. I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
I don't.
You're also
I don't.
rooted,
That's
man.
your running back, bro. I have more faith in you.
Why they're going to be 4-12, man.
What? That's why they're going to be.
Okay, we're just going to move on here.
Sorry.
Last person we're going to talk about is Zach Ertz here. Zach Ertz is going to tight end number 3. He finished as tight end number 4 last season with injuries, which is kind of impressive. That's a good spot for him. He's going behind Kelsey and Kittle. So last question of the night here, gentlemen. We'll start with Tyler. Would you rather have Kittle or Ertz?
Ertz.
Alex.
Kittle.
Trayden.
Kittle.
And Eric.
Kittle
Kittle it is. And that confused my son very much.